Dr. Basanti here, once again. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about chiropractic. What is it? What do we do? What do I do? Okay. Now, with chiropractic, there tends to be a lot of confusion because we're very different. You go to one chiropractor, you go to another chiropractor, it could be a world of difference. Okay, it's not like the medical profession. You go in, you sit down, the doctor evaluates you and says, okay, this is what the test came out and let me write you a prescription. Okay. Totally different. You go to one chiropractor, he might not even utilize chiropractic. He may just put electrical stim on you, he might do some ultrasound, or the real extreme, he might pack you in mud. You know, who knows what he's going to do, and you know, that's not necessarily a negative thing. It just it just adds confusion to the general public. That's all. Because if you go to one chiropractor and he doesn't even adjust you, or he only does different therapies on you, then you've never really experienced chiropractic. You think you have, but you haven't. And if that is ineffective, then you're going to walk out of that office and you're going to say, chiropractic doesn't work. And that's the downside to our profession, because you might walk into the office, not experience chiropractic, and then walk out saying chiropractic doesn't work. So what I want to explain to you is basically what I do as a chiropractor. There's different techniques, like I said, and the technique that I utilize is known as Gonstead. And that's a hands-on technique. Now what I do, if you come into my office as a chiropractor, the most important thing is the chiropractic adjustment. And what that is, what basically is, when you come, I'm going to evaluate, look at your spine. Let's say you were in an auto accident or slip and fall or whatever, you just have a general pain. I'm going to evaluate your spine and see if each joint is moving. If I find an area where the joint is no longer moving, I'm going to restore the motion in that joint. And usually, most of the time, when I do restore that joint motion, people feel better. Now sometimes it's not necessarily instantaneously. It may take some time, but when we get that joint moving, people tend to feel better. Okay. And it's the most important aspect of what I do. I do other things too. Okay, I'll use some modalities, I'll use ultrasound, I use different things. But the adjustment is the most important thing. And to give you an example, or if you dislocated your shoulder, you'd see this joint down here. Okay, if you've ever seen a dislocated shoulder, you know what I'm talking about. Now just imagine not taking that shoulder and putting it back in place. Okay, you leave it down here and you say, okay, let me put ultrasound, let me do electrical stim, let me do massage. Is any of that, I mean, just think about it, is any of that going to be effective in actually correcting a problem? No. The first thing you do is you take the shoulder, put it back in place. So, with that said, on a smaller scale, there's going to be joints in the spine, if we're talking about the spine, and I do work on shoulders and knees and wrists and everything else too, but as far as the spine is concerned, I'm going to look for those joints that are not moving, and I'm going to, with my hands, restore motion. Okay? That's what I do as a chiropractor, and I think that's what every chiropractor should do, but unfortunately, like I said, we don't all do that. You know, a lot of us are not even performing adjustments. So if you come to me, you'll get an adjustment. If you have some pain, I'm going to find it, we're going to fix it, and we're going to leave it alone. Okay? So I hope this gives a little greater understanding as to what chiropractic is, and I hope you understand what I can do for you. So hopefully, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. Take care.